This is Mrs. Naslund, and today we'll be working on Unit 7, Lesson 2, Divide a Thousands. Our learning targets today are I can understand real-world division situations, and I can understand division with 4-digit and 5-digit dividends. So again, let's do a quick review. It'd be great to practice this on your whiteboards or on a sheet of paper while you're listening along. But the steps that we use for long division are Daddy, divide, mother, multiply, sister, subtract, brother, bring down, and rover, repeat or remainder. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to just review and practice a couple of these. Again, I go ahead and write my problem out. I do my 25 in this case, divided by 4. Again, this is my dividend. This is my divisor, the number I'm dividing into. And then I go ahead and start with divide. 4 into 2. I can't do it because 2 is too small, so I have to do 4 into 25. I think, how many times can 4 go into 25? Well, I know that 4 times 6, so now I'm on to the multiply step. 4 times 6 is 24. And then I can move on to the sister subtract phase. So I'm going to hit subtract. And 5 minus 4 is 1. 2 minus 2 is 0. And then I'm going to go to the bring down phase. But there's nothing to bring down, right? So then I can't repeat because there was nothing to bring down. I have a remainder. I have a 6 remainder of 1. All right. Let's go ahead and why don't you go ahead and try 125 divided by 4. So we have 125 divided by 4. Remember, when you're trying these, you can always just hit pause on your player, so you can write it out. Oops, I did 124. So you can write it out on your whiteboard, on your sheet of paper, because the best way to learn is to actually practice along. So 125 divided by 4. And let's go ahead and see how you did. So first I go 4 into 1. Can't do it. It's too small. So now I'm going to go 4 into 12. Ooh, and that's awesome because I know that 4 times 3, so now I'm on to the mother, multiply. 4 times 3 is 12. It's perfect. I'm going to write 12. Then I'm going to go into sister subtract. 12 minus 12 is 0. Now I'm going to go to brother, bring down. I can bring down this 5. And now I get to repeat because I brought something down. I get to repeat the whole thing. So go back up to divide. How many times does 4 go into 5? It goes in 1 time. Then I'm going to multiply. 4 times 1 is 4. Then I'm going to do the sister subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. And now I'm going to do brother. Oh, I can't bring down. There's nothing left. So now I get to go to rover. I can't do repeat because there was no bring down, but I can do the remainder. In this case, there's a remainder of 1. All right, if you got 31, remainder of 1, great work. All right, let's move on. I want to show you a cool trick with your paper. When you're going to show your work, a lot of times kids screw up long division because they don't align things up correctly. There's a really cool trick. You can take any line sheet of paper or graph paper works well. But if you take a line sheet of paper and look, if I rotate my paper, I can actually align my numbers so I get these nice perfect columns to do my work in. All right, so now that I have my paper so nicely aligned, I'm going to go ahead and try this one. And in a second, I'll have you do 2,000 divided by 5. But I'm going to do 300 divided by 5. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, does 5 go into 3? Nope. So I'm going to move over to 30. Does 5 go into 30? And the answer is yes, right? Goes in 6 times. I'm going to write my 6, and again, really important, you line it up. Okay, if I would write it over the 3, it wouldn't work. I have to put it right in line. And then I go on to my mother step, multiply. 5 times 6 is 30. So I'm going to write 30. Again, the lines help me keep everything in line. Then I'm going to go to sister subtract. 30 minus 30 is 0. Then I go to brother, which is bring down, and in this case I get to bring down a 0. And then I get to repeat because I brought something down. So 5 goes into 0, 0 times. And then I multiply. Mother, 5 times 0 is 0. And then I get to do sister subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0. And then repeat or remainder. I can't repeat because there's nothing else. And there is no remainder. It's a remainder of 0. And guess what? When you have a remainder of 0, you don't have to write it. So my answer is 300 divided by 5 is 60. Okay. Let's go ahead and try. I want you to go ahead and try 2,000 divided by 5. And you can hit pause and try it. All right, let's see how you did. So first I go 5 into 2. Can't do it, it's too small. How about 5 into 4? Well, I know that 20, 5 into 20. I know that 5 goes into 20 4 times. Now I get to multiply. 5 times 4 is 20. And again, I use these lines to help me keep everything nice in order here. And then I get to go to sister, subtract. 20 minus 20 is 0. And then I get to go to brother, bring down. I'm going to have you notice something, that when they're all zeros, the trick is, these are all going to be zeros too, but I'm going to show you all the steps so you can see why they're all zeros. But you know that if all these are zeros, you're going to get zeros at the end here. Okay, so my answer is going to be 400, just because I can see that I have 2 zeros here. But let's keep going. Brought down the 0. Now I get a repeat because I brought something down. 5 goes into 0 0 times. So then I get to multiply. 5 times 0 is 0. So then I do sister subtract to 0. And then guess what? I get to bring down again. I still have one left. And then I get to repeat because I brought something down. So 5 into 0, 0. And then I get to multiply. 5 times 0 is 0. I get to subtract. And I get 0. Again, if I get a 0, I don't have to rewrite it. So I know my answer is 400. Again, on these ones, and you'll have some of these on your homework, know that once you do the first one, that the rest of these, if these are zeros, it's going to be zeros. But it's just nice to see how it all lays out. All right, now we're going to move into some more challenging ones. And this one were nice because they actually give me the nice little grid lines. And sometimes you get grid lines and sometimes you don't. But this is without zeros. How in the world do I do 1,000 digit? It seems so hard. But again, the cool thing about division is, once you know our pattern, daddy, mother, sister, brother, rover, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, repeat, or remainder, it's the same thing no matter how many numbers you have. If you can do 100, if you can do 10, you can do 10,000, you can do 1,000,000. You'll be able to do really long division problems, which is really cool. So let's try. 6, does it go into 1? Nope, too small. So now I'm going to do 6 into 11. How many times does 6 go into 11? And it only goes in once, right? Because if I do 6 times 2, I get 12, and it's too big. So I did my divide. Now I do my mother multiply. 6 times 1 is 6. Go ahead and write my number here. Then I'm going to do my sister subtract. Okay, so now I'm doing what is 11 minus 6, and I get 5. All right, and after I've subtracted, I go to brother, bring down, and look, there's still 2 numbers to bring down, so I'm going to bring down this next number here. I can only bring down 1 number at a time, my 3. And then I think to myself, okay, I have to repeat because I brought a number down. I'm going to go back up to divide. So how many times does 6 go into 53? All right, and I know that 6 goes into 53 8 times. And this is when knowing your multiplication facts really helps a lot. 6 times 8 is 48, right up here. And then I did my divide, I did my multiply for sister, mother, and now I'm on to subtract. Now remember your subtracting skills. I can't do 3 minus 8, so I'm going to have to borrow from here, make this a 4. This becomes 13 minus 8, which is 5. And then I have 4 minus 4, which is 0. Okay, so now I'm stuck with 5. So now I've subtracted. Now I'm on to brother, bring down. So I'm going to bring down this 4. way down here. Now I'm on to 54. How many times does 6 go into 54? Well, I know that 6 times 9, it goes in 9 times, right? Because 6 times 9 is 54. So I write my 9. Now I'm on to mother, multiply. 6 times 9 is 54. Then I get to subtract, sister. 54 minus 54 is 0. And, oh, there's nothing to bring down. So I can't bring down. I can't repeat because I can't bring down remainder. I have a 0, and I don't have to write it because it's a 0. So my answer is 6 goes into 1,134 189 times. All right, I know you've only seen this one once, but you've been practicing with 3-digit numbers. So I want you to go ahead and try this next one on your own. Pause the recording. Go ahead and try 3,715 divided by 5, and let's see what you get. All right, let's see how you did. So first I say, does 5 go into 3? And no, it really doesn't. So now I'm going to do 5 into 37. Well, I know that 5 times 7 is 35. I'll write 35 here. Okay, so I did my divide. I did my multiply. 5 times 7 is 35. Now I'm on to sister subtract. 37 minus 35, 7 minus 5 is 2. And 3 minus 3 is 0. So I did my subtract. Now I'm on to brother. Bring it on down. Bring down the 1. And now I got to think, okay, I brought it down. I'm going to have to repeat because I brought something down. So go back up to the top to divide. How many times does 5 go into 21? Well, I know that 5 times 4 is 20, and that's really close. So that's probably as much as it can go in. So 5 times 4 is 20. I multiply, mother. Now I sister subtract. 1 minus 0 is 1. 2 minus 2 is 0. All right, subtracted brother, bring down. I get to bring it on down. Okay, bring down this 5. And then I get to think, okay, since I brought it down, I get to repeat. So go back up to the top to the divide. 5 divided by 15 or how many 5s go into 15? Well, 3. And then I get to multiply. 3 times 5 is 15. And now I get to sister subtract. 15 minus 15 is 0. And I can't bring anything down. I've used them all up, right? And you can tell because you've lined everything up so perfectly, you know you don't have anything else to bring down. So instead of repeating, I have a remainder, which in this case was 0, and I don't have to write it. So your answer is 743. So today we talked about how to divide 3 and 4-digit numbers. And again, it's the same exact steps that we did with even 2-digit numbers. Just understanding the divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, repeat, and remainder. Also, we talked about a great trick is to use graph paper or to rotate your paper so you have great little columns to work in, because a lot of times the most common mistakes are kids mixing up where things go, and that can really confuse your problem. So great work today, and I'll send you off to go practice your long division.